Hey, everybody. How are we doing?
Good. How
Lily.
are you?
What's up,
I'm
Donnie? Hey, Trace.
good. Great to see everyone. Hey, has anything been going on today? Anything on Twitter or ESPN? Anything that you guys want to
It's
talk
been a
about?
real quiet day.
Really quiet,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
Yeah.
Tracy, what are you
Do
drinking
people
there,
still
my
use it?
friend?
Do people still use social media? Is that a thing?
You know I'm drinking my dry rosé.
Oh, nice. I have my Pinot Noir.
Oh, cheers, ladies.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers,
I
everybody.
am. I am. I'm drinking a Coke Zero at the moment because, you know,
She's the designated
didn't
driver.
read. I didn't
That's
read.
right.
Yeah, the designated driver. I forgot to read the instructions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here we are again, another Monday night talking about the W. And we're not going to talk too much about everything from today. It's just too much. But everyone should go and check out the conversation between Monica McNutt and Stephen A. Smith on First Take. Um, and throughout the day on Twitter, everyone's jumped in. Damian Woody, Kimberly A. Clark, and then of course Pat McAfee had his moment where he used a really poor choice of words to, I think, share an example of what he thought was going on. And it was, we're not gonna talk about it here, but you can go find it. It's been crazy today. It's been absolutely crazy. And then about an hour ago, Angel Reese and Chennedy Carter had as Alex put it, a shoot around press conference. Alex, is that what it is?
Some
I
sort of
didn't.
after practice. I think it's an after practice press conference. I'm sure it was just
Yeah.
practice day,
So
and they were doing
I
their
didn't know that
press.
was a thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
they do
they
that. They do that for the pros. So
Okay.
yeah.
yeah,
So they were. It was a lot of Carter was talking about how she is going to keep playing her game and play tough and this and that. Angel Reese is wanting the press and the media to know that the popularity of the league isn't about one person. It's also about me, Angel Reese. So that's out there. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot.
yeah.
And we've all been talking about it all day. And I didn't know how we could actually talk about the W tonight without mentioning it at all. But just wanted to give it a bit of a gloss over it a little bit. And we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but I know you two have been watching W a lot longer than I have. Rebecca Lobo actually had a really great quote today.
Yeah.
You guys might have seen it. And admitting that, yes, the rookies all have had their hard moments in the W. She does admit that Caitlin is getting a lot when we know that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, is it time for Caitlin to say something? Like, is it better to just stay quiet because she's not
Yes.
the one doing all this talking?
I would not. I would not. If I was her, I would not say anything. But honestly, I feel like I'm worried about her mental health because
Yeah.
at Iowa, it was one thing. But this is a whole other beast. Like, this is dominating media 24/7. Every little thing she does or anything that happens gets discussed and manipulated and, all over the media. Like, it's got to, and she's on a crappy team. And she hasn't played well the last couple games, granted, because they've played like 20 games or like 10 games in 15 days, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If I was in the Liberty crowd last night, I'd be pissed because that's not fair. Like, you're putting this team out here that has played so many games and then played a back-to-back the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew watching that game, the Fever were not going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I think the first few minutes
your
we were
question,
all texting about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with Trace on that. I don't think that it would do her any good to speak up in that regards. I think she said it. She's like, my response is going to be playing. I'm going to play harder. I'm going to score. I'm going to, that's going to be me talking. And listen, Caitlin Clark's a trash talker.
Yes.
She's not like,
Oh yeah.
she's not going to shy away on the court. And I think like watching her in college, she'll stick up for herself in the way she does it. And I think that, to Tracy's point, like we were texting about it last night, it's like it's not good for the product when the players are so fatigued that from a ridiculous schedule that a team's going to lose by 30 points, which is abnormal for the W. It's not normal
That's their
for
second
a
game
30
that
point
they
for a 30 point blowout because it's a back to back, and yes, they might have a charter flight which is great, but that doesn't take away from recovery time and the elite level. And you're playing a physical game against Chicago the night before, and so it's just a disservice to the league and to the players, and then to the fans who are paying money to come watch a game or taking time out of their day to watch it. And
I mean, there was 17,000 at Barclays Center last night, that's a lot of people. And I would have left there just really disappointed.
Yeah. And it's not like the players didn't give it their effort, but you could tell from the tip off of the game that they were just exhausted. The first 5 minutes, we were all like, oh boy, this isn't, this is going to be pretty.
It's just, no one had any legs.
Yeah.
Just nothing was hitting. And yeah, I mean, I watched all of it because I want to be supportive and I want to watch through the full game. And we were all texting each other anyway, so it's always entertaining. But
of course,
it wasn't what we thought. They're going to get some time off this week, right? They're not playing again until
they play Friday on my birthday in DC, and I'm going to the game, so I will have a lot.
Oh boy.
Oh, I can't wait.
I look forward to that. The fact that the Mystics are 0-8.
I know it's going to be a good game.
That's going to be. It should be competitive. It should be
battle of the basement.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be there. Someone's got to be there. Unfortunately,
at the Capital One Arena.
Oh yeah,
sold out, right?
It's almost sold
that's
out.
Right. Yeah. That should be good. Yeah, they finally get some time off, which will be good for them, because we were talking about they haven't practiced together as a team. They played 11 games, maybe had some shoot arounds. And that's about it. So, they got to build their chemistry. I don't necessarily think that, it's going to be a 180 season for them where they're all automatically going to go on this 11-game winning streak. But I do think some time to rest and some time to actually go through plays and work on team building, just getting to know one another as teammates, it will benefit them in those moments on the court where somebody might get a little aggressive and how are they going to respond to that in a points defensive scrappiness. And I think Rebecca, I don't know if it was Monica, I think it was Monica on the
first take, and where she's saying, listen, teams' personalities are teams' personalities. You're gonna have the Chicago team who's gonna be more get off the bench and protect their players in the way that they do it, and you're gonna have teams where that's just not their personality. And just because Caitlin's at Indiana's never been the team to be oh, hold me back, let me get this other player's face for you because I want to protect my star athlete. That's just that's never been the case.
That's going to be interesting for me to see moving forward, because so many personalities have called the Fever teammates out for not stepping up, and it was blatantly obvious. And so I'm curious to see moving forward how her teammates react to, because this is going to happen again. They play Chicago 4 more times this year. They play them in 2 weeks again.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 12 teams in this league, so they're all going to see each other over and over and over again. And I do think that, listen, like you said, go check out the first take. Go check out, I think it was NBA Live where Chennedy
Shanae had she had a great she called it the state of the W.
Yeah, I was and we were texting. It's it was so nice to watch just two grown-ups having a conversation who happen to be women who have experience at both playing professionally and reporting on it for a very long time. Just having a conversation, be hey, here's where it's at. I personally am not into the watch people scream at each other and talk over each other on a show. Some people might like that and be entertained by it. For me, not so much.
Gives me a headache.
So for me, I appreciated them saying hey, listen, there was already rumors and things talking about perceptions of Caitlin in the league and the attention that she's getting from players and using a certain narrative.
Yeah.
In this one play, I think Rebecca would say gave teeth to that argument. And the season's going to keep going. At the end of the day, there was a 45-minute segment talking about women's basketball. It was a non-basketball play that they're talking about, but you're still talking about women's basketball, and Caitlin's a big part of that, and the rookie class is a big part of that, and the momentum that's gotten us here is a big part of that. So, I think the three of us have talked about when you think about where the NBA was in the 60s, when it first started as a league, and it wasn't really until, you had your, like, I guess you call them super teams with the Celtics and,
Oh yeah. Miami Heat
and
and
yeah, the Miami Heat. But even back in like the 70s, like it wasn't like
oh
people
yeah,
were
yeah,
tuning
yeah.
in to watch, like baseball was the all-American sport. Basketball was like, what is this thing? And it wasn't until they made it like, an entertaining thing and a place to be.
Hey,
Mackie
even
giving
Mackie's
her
into
opinion.
it.
Mackie gets
into
it. She's
too.
like,
Mackie has opinions.
Mackie's got opinions. But at the end of the day, there's more eyes on the sport. More people are talking about it. More people are new to watching it. And so it's going to be different perspectives. And at the end of the day, like Tracy and I was like, my first W experience, when I first went to my first W game, I was like, these women are not playing around. They are fierce competitors, and women as just athletes, like I believe are it's a different type of aggression than when you watch a male men's sport. Women's sports are different. We play differently. We we're passionate about the game in a different way. And I think that shows and I think it just surprises people when they watch women be aggressive.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. You're definitely not used to it. So it's probably discerning for many people, even women like me. I'm just not used to seeing it. But I have seen it. So it's not like it's shocking or anything, but I watch a lot of NBA. I've watched way more NBA than the WNBA, which I know is bad Donnie. I know.
All right.
But
welcome to the party. Happy to have you.
Yeah. And there's always hard fouls, but the fouls, that are not, there was no basketball play there. I think maybe she could have gotten away with saying she was trying to go for the ball, but she timed it poorly. But no, we know it wasn't
absolutely not. She dropped the B word right before she targeted her. There was nothing.
When Angel Reese got clotheslined and practically body slammed, that was a horribly dangerous play. I'm glad that player got ejected. Something else I was going to mention is all these people keep talking about, where our teammates and need enforcers and this and that. And that's been a big conversation. Matt Barnes, Stephen A. Smith, again, a lot of the men that we're talking today. Sure. But Chennedy mentioned a good point. It's because they're like, well, they're stepping up and this and that. And she's like, well, maybe they can't afford to lose a game check. I mean, this isn't like the NBA where, if you get ejected or you lose one game, you're going to feel it, but it's not like what these women might feel. And I was like, you know what? That was not something I thought of before. But you don't have to fight someone. You can just, get in someone's face. They're not going to eject you for that.
I call it boob up. Like you put your chest into their chest, you boob up,
Yes.
And you just get in their face. You don't push, you don't shove. But Donnie, can I make a pivot?
Yes, you may pivot, yes, please.
I do want to comment about Angel Reese just this past hour, because as much as I laugh at her because she desperately wants attention, and that's fine. She does have a little bit of a point, because I do think that 2023 national championship, where she became kind of the villain when she was doing this and all that, it sparked this rivalry. And so people for last year's national championship or last year's tournament game where they played, you had record numbers watching that game just because you had the villain Angel Reese versus everyone's hometown hero, Caitlin Clark, and so I think having that narrative also has kind of elevated interest in the game, and people want to see the Chicago, Indiana game now more so than ever, with Chennedy Carter thrown into the mix. So, I agree with her to some extent. However, she's not selling out 17,000 like Caitlin Clark is doing in Indiana. I mean, she's playing at Winchester Arena, which I think the capacity is maybe 10,000. And, they've had 10,000 at times, but it's not sold out every game.
Yeah. And I do think with that is, and we talk about like guard play versus post play.
Yes.
It's just like Angel's an amazing athlete. I mean, she is hardworking, and she's selling out in DC when Chicago comes because she's from the DMV area. She's from that area. So I think her as an athlete is definitely a draw. And I do think this rookie class is really a special rookie class. I do think also that it's like because she's playing up the villain role too. She's
Oh,
leaning
heck
into it.
yeah.
Thank
And
you.
so
Yes.
it's like she's leaning into that. Like, if I'm the villain, okay, I'll own it. And that might be now, but like how she's going to evolve as an athlete in this league over the next 10, 15, like maybe if she can get 20 years, like Diana Taurasi going on year 20, the fact that she's like dropping like 7 threes a game, I'm just a little tangent. Like, go ahead, DT. Like amazing. Just like, and it's so pure. It's so pretty to look at. And I will say somebody called out that like Diana's still wearing like the 2002 like shorts.
Oh
Yes.
my God, thank you. I saw that and I'm like, is she really wearing like the Fab Five shorts that are hang down?
Yes,
Yep.
Like,
totally is. But that's her style. She's
of
do
course.
Diana. Like,
I know.
you,
I
DT.
know.
But I will say, going back to kind of when we were with the games and the fouls, it's like the officiating this season has just been a mess. And whether they take too long to review certain plays that don't need that long to review, or they totally miss a call flat out, or like what is a flagrant, like certain things where they're reviewing that's a flagrant, you're like, it's clearly not a flagrant. Can we just move on, please? And it does take away from the rhythm, like the speed and the rhythm of the game. I'm sure as the athlete, some of them might be like, thank you for that extra timeout for you to take like 10 minutes to review a play. I do wish that I think we talked about this offline, where I do wish there was a timer to review a play. To say, like, there officials, you have literally 90 seconds to review this and make a decision, because otherwise, like, there's timeout restrictions. I do feel like if they can't make it, they need to call like headquarters in Secaucus, New Jersey, and be like, hey, head official in Secaucus, can you please tell me the answer here, please? Because that just takes away from the momentum, and then everyone's just kind of dwindling around on the court, and you're like, okay, flagrant, great. We all knew that 20 minutes ago. Can we move on? So I will say I've been disappointed with the officiating, and as a viewer, we've all watched games where the officials just call too much, and the rhythm's gone, and the players can't play freely. Versus like, just let them play and see what happens. And this is what I think they've talked about, like Jordan, or in the 80s when he came on. Like, you watch back old NBA clips, like it was violent, like throwing into the stands, and until someone like gets hurt. And I think the officials this season, there needs to be that fine line of like, let them play, but you also have to protect the players. You also have to make sure that, to your point, Dawn, when Alyssa Thomas clotheslines Angel, it's like, that was a flagrant, 100%. And luckily, Angel didn't get severely hurt on that. But if someone's going up for a layup and they don't allow them to land, if someone's like, clotheslining them in some way, like there needs to be this fine line. I feel like the officials have failed so far this season, and I'm hoping they can pivot and do better as their remaining games.
Lots of pivoting. But I mean, the fact that Alyssa Thomas got ejected for that, which she should have, but it was kind of in-game play, and Chennedy Carter doesn't even get a flagrant. Like, are you? What planet are you on?
Well, like, from what I heard people talking about today, it's as if I think that the refs in that game with Caitlin Clark and Carter, that they actually did not really see it. Like, they were probably watching the inbound, and I don't think they realized it. But again, they went and looked at it.
No, I don't think they looked at it.
No, they didn't even look at it.
Did. No. I mean, that's the thing that kills me. Like, you have 3 sets of eyes. Everyone should, at least 1 or 2 refs, as you're going down, should be looking back. So that's the part that kills me with this whole officiating thing. And getting to Alex's point about physical play, like, I know the W is going to be physical, but like, we've got to keep it to a point where we are, protecting the integrity of the game too, and not letting it be a slugfest. It's not fun to watch.
No, it's not. And I do think that like, especially after this weekend with all of the chatter with the officials and everything, I imagine we're going to see a change in the officiating, coming up in the next, I mean, we're in the Commissioner's Cup right now. So like, the Commissioner's Cup, for people don't know, I was reading up on the rules. So it's basically June 1st through June, I want to say 12th, like the games during that period of time. There's 5 games, I think, for each team. And it's the top team at the end of the Commissioner, those 5 games from each conference. Is it each conference, or just like the top 2 teams that play each other? I can't remember.
I think it's the top 2 teams.
I think the top two teams play each other for like the winner of the Commissioner's Cup, and it's an additional $500,000 that gets distributed to the athletes. So it's like it's a tournament within regular season. What's that? Okay.
Is that always been a thing? Yeah.
No,
I think it started last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 2021, I think was the first season for it. Because it was another way is I think crypto.com or Coinbase, I think, is the sponsor. And so it was part of their sponsorship, but also a way for the athletes to get more money. Because again, we talk about base salary and this is a way for them to get a little bit more. And then it just makes it exciting for like in-season play for the players.
I love the NBA's in-season tournament they did last year. I loved it.
But the W started that. The W started that trend, and then the NBA picked it up, and that's why you'll see the black and white ball in the games for the first 2 weeks, because it's specific to the Commissioner's Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered about that. I was like, why are they using black and white? But yeah.
My nephew and I were watching the Chicago because he's 5 and he has dribble like practice on Saturdays, and then he made his first 3 baskets. I was very, very proud aunt moment for my little 5-year-old nephew. But but we went to watch the game. He's like, "Why does the ball look so funny?" And I was like, "Well, it's for like," I was explaining the tournament to him, and he was just excited that because red's his favorite color, and Indiana was wearing red. He was just very excited that they won.
Those were sharp uniforms.
I did like those.
I will say, can we talk about the courts? Can we talk about the courts?
We're not. I don't like those courts either. I don't like the sort of.
I feel like
we want to look like blacktop, and we want to look this. It's like dull. Yeah, it is distracting.
It's distracting. I'm sure I'll get used to it. To me.
This could be a very. This could be a get off my lawn kind of thing. I don't really know, but I don't love it. I don't love it.
Yeah.
You know what is also distracting? Some of these pregame fits of these players walking in. Did you all see Sophie Cunningham?
No, was that
from Phoenix? Oh my gosh! I swear I thought I was watching.
They're in good shape. I was like, get it.
I thought I was watching Pretty Woman. I thought I was watching Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts in the beginning scene with Richard Gere. Not a joke.
It was only covering up so much. It was only covering. So I will say, with the fit walks, I am in love with Ellie the elephant, the New York Liberty mascot. She, they, I don't know what their preferred pronouns. However, super impressed with that mascot and what she's bringing to the experience for the Liberty fans, and just whether you're there or not. And it's just really joyous. I'm like, what's Ellie gonna be strutting down in her fits? And just getting into it with the players. It's entertaining. I hope that the other mascots can pick up, because that's like a fun element to it.
Well, they were talking about that. I feel like this morning, or because they showed what the Aces have, like a rabbit.
I think so.
Which I don't know why it's a rabbit. I'm sure there's a reason some story that we don't know about.
Is it magic? It's like you're in Las Vegas. So
okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I know we were talking about when because Tracy and I, we were texting and we were watching the game with some friends on a Saturday, and they had already been showing some of the ladies in their outfits, and I'm like, it's like 11 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning when they're going through there in their heels, and I'm like, I know you want to like get your fit on and show off your outfits, but I'm also like, it's 10:30. Are there some cool, like, juicy couture, like, something the equivalent of that they can be walking in on?
Yeah.
That's what I would be doing. But no, I mean, look, God love them. I could not even imagine walking in those heels at all, let alone through a freshly mopped and probably buffed floor.
I mean,
even Angel Reese was like, these heels are coming off soon. Like, I can't keep them up much longer.
These women are 6'4", 6'5". Camila Cardoso is 6'7", and wearing this stuff. I tell you what, the pregame fit walk, like, it is like a buffet for all different types and styles. Like, whether you're a straight woman, a straight male, gay woman, gay male. I mean, at this point, with some of the fashion trends. I mean, you really have it all, and it's I love it. And these women know what they're doing, like th're branding.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, and they're like, what happened early in the league? I'm like, early league, no money, no exposure, and you're it was basically like track suits
Well, you saw the early
they
Sue Bird
play-
picture. The early Sue Bird pictures, like
Yes,
girl next door
yes.
with like the bob haircut and
Yeah.
the cardigan sweater.
I mean, the poor Mystics, they're doing their walks outside the building. Like they're
Oh.
literally like put down a red
coming
carpet
into the parking
on
garage.
basically
They're
the
like,
sidewalk.
coming down the ramp. Yeah, they're coming down the ramp.
I mean, they're still working it because God,
They're
God
trying.
bless them. Like
They're trying.
they're doing it. But I was like, are you guys outside? It's like when you have to catch one of those little airplanes and you end up outside and you have to walk up the they need to fix that. They need to fix it.
I know.
That's not
Come on, Ted. Do better, Ted. Do better.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. They play at Capital One Thursday and Friday night, so maybe we'll see really.
That fit walk should be better. That fit walk should be better because it'll be in the
Well, it should be
so.
for sure. Yes, absolutely. Tracy,
you,
are you going on what day? Friday?
Thursday and Friday. They play Chicago Thursday, if y'all want to see Chennedy Carter, and Friday they play Indiana.
Is that's
okay? So they basically
Friday,
have Angel. So that because Angel's playing, so they're playing at home. They're playing at home against Chicago and Indiana.
Yeah, so it's a back-to-back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the Mystics are going to be tired against Indiana. If Indiana can't win this game, oh my god!
Especially after 5 days off.
Yeah,
I'll be with it. That wasn't on my list when I was looking at games of the week to check out. No offense, Mystics. As someone from the DMV, I was like, that wasn't on it. But now I'll check. Now I'll check it out. I'll look for you on the TV feed, Trace.
Where are your seats? I read that a lot of people that had tickets before they moved it actually got kind of priced out of their tickets.
Well, so shout out Steph and Carly. They are season ticket holders, and we're actually going to be out of town Friday. So for my birthday, they gave me tickets, and they're actually row L in section 100, right in the middle of the court.
Okay,
maybe
nice. That's great.
10, 12 rows up. And I was praying. I was like, please, Caitlin Clark, do not get injured. And of course, last night she was like, oh, my ear.
My ear. I mean, she
probably got elbowed. She got elbowed in the ear, probably.
Yeah.
I feel like these first 2 years, she's not going to miss a game.
She's twisting.
I think I don't think she's going to miss a game unless her leg is hanging off from the knee or something. She's going to be in every game.
Yeah. She'll do her best. If she can play, she'll play. Yeah. So speaking of games of the week, there are a lot of games coming up this week outside of those nail biters with the Mystics in Indiana and Chicago. Are there any other games you're looking at? I think for tomorrow, the one I was looking at was Seattle versus Phoenix. That should be a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Tuesday
game.
Phoenix has been up and down. Sometimes they're cooking on all cylinders, and another game they're getting blown by 30. So who's going to show up?
When the 3 drops. It's when the 3 drops. If they, and Brittany, I don't know when Brittany's coming back. How long she's out for the season, and I know there were some moves this.
I thought it was a
past
while.
week
I thought it was several weeks.
Leaving. Yeah, I imagine she'll probably be out for most of the season, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I had Seattle versus Phoenix on Tuesday, Seattle versus Las Vegas on Friday, in addition to Indiana and the Mystics, of course. And then New York is playing Connecticut, and Connecticut's 8-0. I mean, they are
legit.
They are having they've been good for a while. I mean, I'm not surprised. I would say I'm surprised they're undefeated, but I'm not surprised they're as good as they are. And then with the Liberty kind of turning it around, although the second half, when they came out of halftime in the third quarter, they gotta tighten that up from a game planning perspective. I think they're strong in the first 2 quarters, and the third quarter is where they kind of shoot themselves in the foot and need to lock it in. But that game should be good on Saturday. And then Phoenix versus Dallas, I think, is going to be a good game. They're all going to be good, but I think where the standings are and kind of where they're going to come out of this week should be interesting.
The Aces are going to be interesting because they just lost at Atlanta. Atlanta is not all that. And Jackie Young is getting into yelling fights with aerial powers, and I don't know if you saw that clip. So Las Vegas kind of has some holes in their armor there that I think people are starting to exploit. And I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have as good of a year this year as they had the last couple of years. They just didn't look like they're kind of clicking on all cylinders yet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I think they've talked about that. and I think Asia's talked about that after like post game conference and our media. And
Well, Asia's still crushing it.
Yeah, I mean, Asia's going to be
Asia's
Asia.
crushing it.
I think Chelsea Gray's still out on an injury.
Yes,
She's the general
yes.
on the floor.
Yeah.
And she, you know, like not
That's a
have
huge
as much as
loss.
like that's a huge loss for them. And I think until she can, even though she's probably on the, she's on the bench, she's like doing what she can as a player coach to help out. But if she's not on the floor, that's a big loss for them. And I know that. I think that I don't know when she's coming back. I think is she recovering from surgery? Like I can't recall why she's out.
I think that she's almost ready to go, but from what I heard from Becky Hammond is they don't want to rush it. And so they're just going to let her take her time and come back when she's feeling 100%, but she's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have how many games? 40?
Yeah.
40?
40 games in the season, yeah. And there's a month break between July, and that's another reason why the schedule's so out of whack, because you have the month break between mid-July and mid-August.
Yeah.
Like July 19th through August 19th, and that's why some of these teams are front-end super heavy on their schedule, like Indiana, and some of them are going to hit right before the Olympic break, and some of them are going to be on the back end post-Olympic break. That's the challenge of an Olympic season.
Yeah. Yep.
Which, where I think we're the only. If I think about the teams that play in the summer, I feel like we're the only ones that really feel it. Because I think with the NWSL, they keep playing when the U.S. Women's National Team goes overseas because there's enough players to play to keep playing.
Right.
You take 12 players and 3 of them might be on one team. Like if you had a Chelsea Gray, Asia Wilson, and from Las Vegas, it makes
Kelsey
it
Plum.
Kelsey Plum, and then Alyssa Thomas, and so the season has to stop.
Well, and quick pivot question from the Olympics. There was talk about, is Caitlin Clark going to get invited? Honestly,
I think she'll get invited to camp.
But I don't think she'll make the team.
I don't think so either. I think, and that's okay. I mean, get invited. There's a lot of.
She could use a break. She'll want to go, but.
Yeah, she's got plenty of time to play. She'll be a 4-time Olympic.
Right.
With the Olympics, you've got your bench, plus you have your what they call them in the Olympics. You have like your
reserve.
Your reserves, like just
you only have 12 players though. That's it.
Right.
You only get 12.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to make it hard for her because she played in the Final Four last year, so she wasn't able to attend that training camp.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So, they were saying because Cheryl Reeve, the coach for Minnesota, is the Olympic coach. So they were going to kind of evaluate her during this first half of the WNBA season. And I just don't see it. I can't see who she would replace on the team. Yeah. She needs more strength. She needs more experience at that level. She just doesn't have the international experience. She doesn't have the professional
I was just going to say, playing internationally is going to be different.
Oh, 100%.
Wouldn't playing internationally be closer to playing in college than it would be in the W?
No. I get what you're thinking there from a skill set level.
More about how they actually call the games.
No, European. I mean, Olympic basketball again follows more European rules, where you have to also get used to like travel rules are different there.
Oh yeah,
how they move the ball is different, and so it's a different way of playing, and. I think that, and again, I don't know if Caitlin will ever play overseas because she's got these big sponsorship deals.
Oh no, right.
To like protect her, but I think it would still benefit her as an athlete to get that experience.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't, the reason, like if any of these athletes never had to because they had the money not to, why would they go? And again, I don't think has Asia played. Did Asia play overseas? I don't know if Asia Wilson ever played.
So.
I've never heard her talk about it. No, I was thinking in the sense of like whenever the NBA players they go play the Olympics and they're getting called for fouls that they never get called for. They're getting because they're getting called for everything, things that they don't ever get called on in the NBA. And I think that's what I was wondering about as far as the W and playing in the Olympics.
It's fun. The internet, and the international rules are different. And I will say. Pivoting, I did watch the Full Court Press documentary on ESPN, 4 episodes.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Highly recommend it. but Cardozo was playing on. I didn't realize that Brazil didn't make the cut, which is unfortunate because it would have been fun to see her. And she'll be able to represent Brazil and play in the Olympics many times in her career.
Yeah.
And so I think and I think that's the thing that's exciting. It's like this is going to be Diana Taurasi's last Olympics. Sue's done. So when you think of we have 144 WNBA players, and 12 of them, and they're all elite, amazing athletes. Only 12 of them are going to go, and it's really about the chemistry of the team. And I think if you go back in the history of the Olympic team, there was a lot of controversy on why Candace Parker wasn't on I think she was on one Olympic team, and that was it. And there was.
So do you think do you think it was a chemistry thing with Candace, like that she didn't get along with the players? Like I've heard conflicting stories, like Gino didn't like her because she played at Tennessee. Like
the Tennessee thing, because he was the U.S. coach for a long time. Yeah. I honestly don't know. I remember I think it was like the 2012 Olympic team. It was 2012 or 2016 when she didn't get picked, and it was a big deal. And I remember even when Becky Hammon was in the league playing for the Stars, and she was having awesome seasons. And because you had Sue and Diana, and there's the timing of it, who the point guards were. It's like Becky never made the U.S. Olympic team. And it's like, we have amazing athletes. And that's why you see a lot of these players be like, what's my national heritage? Where can I go play? Right. I'll go play for Poland. I'll go play for Italy. I'll go so you'll see play for Canada, play for France, even if they never lived there, but their heritage is there. And Becky's a Boston underdog. She's like, I want to play in the Olympics. Back in the day, she played for Russia in the Olympics back in 2008, 2012, I think.
Wow.
And because she was a player there, a lot of them were players in Russia in the off season. And so when she played with Sue and DT and all of them back on the Russian team back in the day, and Candace. And so she was able to get a Russian citizenship, and she played for Russia in the Olympics one year. And Russia didn't do great, but she still got to participate in the Olympics.
Yeah.
She wanted that experience.
How times have changed.
Indeed.
Yeah. In Russia.
But I think the Olympics, I hope that the momentum of the W plays into the Olympics, because it was such a big part. We didn't have the W back then. So the Olympics were a big part of the enjoyment of watching women's basketball and the men's basketball. I feel like I haven't really watched the men play in the Olympics in a long time. And the women, I watched
great last one
basketball, but I'm curious if the momentum from the collegiate seasons the last couple of years and where the W is now, how that's going to impact viewership for the Olympics when it's that gap. And people are going to tune in,
Point. I think it's going to be great. The men's NBA team that they sent to the Olympics the last time did not do great. I feel like they were playing for third. Because they were beaten by Spain.
We'll have to look up the stat for next time. But I think the women's basketball team, USA women's basketball, has won the most gold consecutively. Yeah, I think. Okay. What is it? Six or 8 Olympics in a row? Yeah, it's a high number.
It's crazy to think about, because the world has caught up in basketball. Soccer, it took a while, but I feel like Australia and Spain and some of these, they have really good female basketball players.
Oh, yes.
And so, I mean, not to mention Australia's uniforms, Donnie.
Yeah, I know.
The onesie. I'm a fan.
Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. Oh, ladies. This has been a great chat, as always.
I will say, I know we got to wrap it up, but we should next time, let's pin it. I do want to talk about this new women's 3v3 league that Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Carter, I think,
Nafisa
Brianna, Nafisa, and there's Alex Morgan, the other one, the investor. She investor or
investor? Yeah.
I just read she was an investor in. Was it that, or was it something else?
I feel like it's this one. I feel like it's this new league that Brianna and Nafisa are starting.
And we should also talk about the new women's national team coach. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Emma. I mean, we haven't even talked. I'm super stoked about Emma Hayes. I mean, bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's.
Yeah.
And
we're also going to talk about Formula One next week. Formula One. We're going to talk about Formula One. Silverstone is this week. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in Formula One. We'll talk about that next week. Silverstone's always a great race. We've also got French Open continuing this week. More ladies basketball. It's just going to be a great week of sports. And we will be talking about it. And ladies, thank you
NBA. Listen, we got to talk about the NBA finals are coming with Boston and Dallas. I mean, I know, Donnie, like you're aware of this. We've talked about this like all week.
I know we didn't even talk about it, but I am all about Dallas. I am Team Luka. He and Kyrie have been amazing. I don't think that Celtics are going to win. I think that,
as my nephew would say, I just want to see a good series. I just want to see a good game. That's what he says. Like, I'm not picking a winner. I want the red team.
Remind us of your nephew's age.
He is 5.
5? He's 5. So
he is 5. He's 5 going on 6. His birthday's in August.
We'll talk about that next time.
I think I will root for I think Dallas has had an amazing season. I am kind of cheery. I want Boston to get that 18. I just don't know. Man, the people of Boston, if they lose this series, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. And you have
Dallas,
the NHL too, but we don't
Dallas
really
is full of dogs.
Follow hockey.
There are no dogs left on the Celtics ever since Marcus Smart left.
Yeah.
That's it. And Porzingis may or may not play, and even if he does, he'll have restricted minutes. But he's still someone you have to pay attention to. He's like 7'4". So But yes, we'll talk a little more NBA. We'll have a little NBA. We'll have a little Formula One. We'll have more.
All right. Look for me on Friday. Look for me on Friday.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
Mystics.
Are we bringing any extra signage? Is there anything like?
Oh, I should make a sign.
Are we gonna have a happy birthday hat? Are we gonna have?
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Birthday.
Sash of some sort.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Trace.
Happy birthday, Tracy.
Cheers, ladies.
All right.
Thanks, Don.